Alright, you know how this goes. When it comes to Drake, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. His fans are the absolute worst, so please do all of that, and let's get right into it. There's a lot on the table right now, and while just a few days ago it seemed like Drake had no real direction for Iceman, and the album felt like it was nowhere close to dropping, something strange has shifted, and it all connects back to Drake getting desperate, emotional, and once again borrowing from other people's work. And according to the industry sources we trust, the ones with a solid track record of being accurate, they're telling us that within a matter of days, everything surrounding this poorly named and poorly constructed next album is going to start making a lot more sense. And if you're paying attention to all corners of hip-hop right now, you can already see the strange direction Iceman is heading. Before we go any further though, I genuinely need to say, leave a like, subscribe, and show support if you haven't already. Because I'm tired of Drake fans trying to derail the conversation, when all we're doing is speaking the plain and obvious truth. And on that note, I have to issue a call to all of you. We need to, on some level, boycott whatever they're about to shove in our faces.
At the very least, stay aware and be very vocal about pushing back against the tricks Drake is trying to pull with this next album. Because the conversation around how Drake has kept his relevance going for so long has always centered on the same playbook, latching onto younger artists who have already built real trends and audiences, cosplaying their style, taking the credit, and building the myth of the Drake stimulus package. At one point, one of the key signs of Drake's decline was that this entire strategy seemed to be falling apart. Everyone around him was failing, and all the new artists popping off were far more aligned with the other side of hip-hop than with him.
That has now changed, and we got the glaring red alarm signal for it last night. Because we've now found out exactly who Drake is stealing from for the Iceman era. When it comes to swiping songs, styles, momentum, and energy, Drake has handpicked what he considers a new big three. And those three are none other than Yeat, S.K. and Central C. These are the artists Drake believes represent the future and the team he thinks will carry Iceman to a new generation. And this isn't speculation. We essentially got a direct-to-DVD Disney Plus episode of Iceman last night through Yeat and S.K.'s new collaboration titled Made It On Our Own.
And within that song and music video, we can see Drake financing their careers and tying them directly into his own rollout. He literally handed them his mansion, that lame old embassy, and let them film an entire music video there, throw a party, and do whatever they needed to feel like they'd made it, now that they're in his circle and obligated to hand over their best work to him. And beyond just providing a video location, this has clearly been a calculated, long-term strategy from Drake.
Because back in Iceman Episode 3, which nobody remembers because why would you, Drake and Yeat had a phone call scene where Yeat essentially tells Drake that if things go sideways, Drake can fall back on him. And with Drake and Yeat back on the phone in this new music video, with Yeat having Drake saved in his contacts as The Boy, we are apparently witnessing the pinnacle of direct-to-DVD world building that the Iceman storyline has to offer. But throughout this video, there are countless nods and references to the Iceman universe, and
Drake's world in general, since the video was filmed at his house, the same location where the 2C Slide video was shot, which is why so many of the shots look familiar. And through all of these clues, we're watching Drake pull Yeat and S.K. into his album rollout through their own music, without him even appearing directly. And especially with S.K. Drake is trying to bring in one of the hottest names in rap over the past few months, someone with a brand new captive audience, directly into his camp. I'll be honest, the move to pivot toward UK rap, given how thoroughly Drake has been written off in the US, is actually somewhat clever, though the long-term outcome of this album still feels inevitable regardless.
Drake has clearly put slightly more thought into this than he was a few months ago, because with this new Yeat and S.K. record, this isn't even the first song functioning as a direct-to-DVD Iceman episode. Before this, we already got what amounts to a spin-off with Central C's Iceman freestyle, which confused people when it dropped and nobody quite knew what it meant, though it was clearly connected to Drake, given that they'd already worked together. Central appeared in Iceman episode 2, and he made direct references and nods to Drake songs like Nokia throughout it.
What we're seeing Drake do is, and I'll give him a tiny bit of credit here, even though it's more distraction than genuine creativity, having other artists make songs to build the rollout for your album. It's a strange strategy, but I almost have to acknowledge that with how bad his own music has been, getting other people to do the heavy lifting might be his best available move. So seeing Drake use Central C, Yeet, and now S.K. in their own separate projects to tease and hint at Iceman, or at minimum send faint signals that everything in the circle is leading towards his next album, which insiders say is coming very soon.
What we're watching is Drake assembling a new network of artists to borrow new energy and a new wave from. And the decision to go all in on UK rap is conceptually interesting. 2 of the 3 artists in this circle are arguably the hottest names out of that entire scene right now, which tells you everything about how much Drake has given up on trying to appeal to US rap at its core. Though, of course, he still needs American audiences if he wants to reclaim anything close to where he once stood. And on that note,
even when we were discussing Spotify's recent campaign around identifying new hip-hop leaders, one thing Drake genuinely does know how to do is identify talent he can attach himself to. He probably already knows that Spotify list looks as bad as it does, and doesn't see real superstar potential in most of those names outside of maybe Central C, which I disagree with, but Drake seems to really believe in him. Meanwhile, the artists actually carrying momentum in the US don't align with Drake at all. People like Baby Keem and Doechii are directly tied to Kendrick, and someone like Glorilla
has connections to people in the industry Drake doesn't get along with, so she's clearly not going to be flying the Drake flag. And then there are artists like Playboi Carti, who's making serious waves, but is more affiliated with Kendrick Lamar and A$AP Rocky and that entire side of the culture. So you can see the full picture. Drake simply has no real options in the United States. Which is why with this trio of Yeet, Central C, and S.K. we're watching him try to construct something new and push his career forward in rap through a direction that is very unconventional compared to anything he's done before. Because with Drake going all in on artists who, outside of Central C, have almost no lyrical depth and are entirely built around vibes, sounds, and heavy auto-tune, this is a genuinely bold gamble. And if Drake tries to build an entire album around that aesthetic, I cannot wait to see how it lands, because I have a feeling it's going to be a disaster. That said, even acknowledging someone like S.K. who does seem to have real potential in this rap game, he's already made some significant noise and put out one of the biggest rap songs during a stretch where hits were hard to come by.
Even so, while Drake may have found the right talent, none of this is going to stop the inevitable failure. I'm willing to stand on that. Because if Drake is banking on this album delivering hits that are essentially knockoff versions of what these artists have already been doing, I don't think he's fully thought through what it looks like to watch a nearly 40-year-old man cosplay the very trends that have made these new waves exciting to younger audiences in the first place. The effect is going to be damaging in a way that their team clearly hasn't accounted for, given how short-sighted they are and how they're just grabbing at whatever wave might keep the career from sinking.
Because it seems pretty obvious, the reason this new wave has connected with young listeners is that it feels fresh and genuinely theirs. It's hard to imagine a 40-year-old pivoting into that space and having it land authentically. So Drake has found his new people to borrow from, and his new people to bet his future on. And this is clearly the direction we should expect. Iceman is apparently getting closer to release sooner than anyone thought. Or at least episode 4 is on the way, according to sources.
And with that, we should expect at least a new single dropping soon, along with more clarity on the rollout. And just throwing out a theory here, I think we're going to get another single before the full album drops. Since Central C was in episode 2 and Yeet was in episode 3, maybe episode 4 features S.K.
which would set up a Drake and S.K. collaboration as the next move. And that's likely what Drake is banking on to push this rollout over the finish line, and make a record big enough to shake things up in both the US and the UK simultaneously.
That seems to be the goal anyway, but I'm not sure this Benjamin Button approach is actually going to work, unless the UK audience connects with it in a way that US listeners almost certainly won't. And as we reach this moment where Iceman seems to be approaching and Drake has locked in his new circle, what I'll say to every rap listener is this: before you even get the chance to be misled again, just don't allow it. And honestly, Drake, it already feels like the rollout has stumbled, because the fact that I seem to know more about what's happening within the Iceman universe than his own fans does already signal the kind of failure that might be coming, and how these artists he's brought in simply aren't going to deliver what he needs. And if that failure is coming, it could arrive faster than anyone expected. So with all that said, sit back, stay aware, and enjoy all the great rap we've been getting in January and February, before Drake presumably ruins everything come March with the Iceman album. Because when Drake does finally step into all of this, the rap world is going to get a whole lot more insufferable. That much is guaranteed. Now, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about Drake pulling in this new trio to push Iceman forward and launch this supposed new era of his career?
Do you think it's actually going to work? Is this a smart play? And do you genuinely believe Drake can use this to usher in a new wave and direction for his career? One that will be built almost entirely on what these other rappers have already established. Now, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate the support. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hype up the video. It helps out a ton if you haven't done so already. I really can't thank you enough. And if you want to see what happened right before this, we just witnessed one of the worst moments in hip-hop in recent memory.
And it all came from Spotify releasing one of the most embarrassing lists about the future faces of hip-hop, pushing artists who simply don't deserve that title straight into the center of the genre, presumably to exploit their output while simultaneously trying to displace Kendrick Lamar as the king of rap, which is absolutely wild when you see who they're trying to replace him with. You will not want to miss that one. Check out the suggested video.